CSI Miami has kept millions of viewers breathless with each case. But behind the spotlight, some actors have gone through fates even more tragic than on screen: sudden death, devastating addiction, broken marriages, and ruined careers. And there are those who have risen, achieved success beyond imagination, those who have stumbled, and those who have won. Let's explore this shocking truth together. Evan Ellingson Tite, or Kyle Harmon. When Evan Ellingson was just 19 years old, he played the role of Kyle Harmon, the son of Detective Horatio Caine in CSI Miami in 2007. This role brought him special attention from the audience and opened the door to Hollywood after many years of effort. The bright aura of the screen turned him into a promising face. But behind that short-lived success lies a dark reality that few can imagine. Evan Taylor Ellingson was born on July 1, 1988, in California, USA, in a family of 4 brothers. His life took a tragic turn in 2008 when his brother Austin died of a drug overdose. That shock gradually dragged Evan into the world of drugs starting at the age of 19, a time when he should have been living in the spotlight of his career. The pain of loss and weakness in the face of temptation dragged him into a spiral of addiction with no way out. In the following years, Evan lived torn between his desire to return to the screen and the darkness of substance abuse. He had been to rehab centers many times, but every glimmer of hope was drowned by relapse, dragging him down to the abyss. After 2010, his film career completely stopped, leaving a young man once hailed as a promising talent, now only a shadow of himself, efforts to cling to. Life gradually turned into a series of bitter failures, turning Evan into a lonely shadow in the dazzling lights of Hollywood. On November 5, 2023, Evan Ellingson died in Fontana, California from a fentanyl overdose at the age of 35. His sudden death left his family, friends, and fans devastated. His net worth was only about $1 million, a pittance compared to the expectations he once held. His final image is not of a shining star, but of a man who collapsed in his battle with addiction, leaving behind a sadness that makes people shudder at the terrible price of fame that came too soon. Nicole Dehoff as Carrie Delgado. Nicole Dehoff plays Carrie Delgado, a dedicated blood test technician in the CSI Miami lab in 2003 when she was 28 years old. Although it was just a small role, it was considered a step forward in her artistic path after she made her mark in the hit movie Meet the Parents 2000. Nicole's career began to shine, but that halo did not last long. Nicole Renee Dehoff was born on January 6, 1975, in Antlers, Oklahoma, USA. In 2005, when she was just 30 years old, Nicole began experiencing severe respiratory symptoms. She sought help at the hospital, but instead of being treated, she was twice misdiagnosed with bronchitis. Her severe breathing difficulties worsened, and Nicole was sent home without fever-reducing medication or antibiotics. The pneumonia that ravaged her lungs went unnoticed, as no one listened to her cries for help. Nicole spent her final days in a state of medical injustice. She returned to the hospital repeatedly, but each time was sent home due to the indifference and negligence of the doctors. Her body weakened, her breathing became labored, but the hope of saving her life was extinguished right at the place where she was supposed to live. When Nicole collapsed at her home, an ambulance took her away in critical condition. By the time the disease was truly discovered, life had left her forever. On February 16, 2005, Nicole Dehoff took her last breath at the age of 30. She left behind her husband, Ari Pallets, and a family. Devastated by the tragedy, her net worth was estimated at $500,000, a pittance compared to the grand dreams she had left unfulfilled. Her death shocked the audience and left a deep sadness about the fragility of fate. Michael Madsen as Coop Daly. At 46 years old, Michael Soren Madsen appeared in CSI Miami in 2003 as Coop Daly, a character filled with the grit and weariness of a man who has been through a lot. His appearance brought the familiar fierceness and strength of the big screen character to television, impressing audiences with his fierceness and wildness. But behind the lens, Madsen's life was not bright. It was a long series of darkness and wounds that never fully healed. Michael Soren. Madsen was born on September 25, 1957 in Chicago, Illinois, United States. He grew up in a dysfunctional family. His parents divorced when he was very young. However, what pushed his life into darkness was alcoholism, a habit that he developed at a young age and gradually became a persistent nightmare. Not only did alcohol destroy his health, it also landed him in constant legal trouble, causing broken marriages and severely affecting his career. The years that followed tragedy compounded as he faced the biggest shock of his life, the suicide of his son Hudson in 2022 due to depression. The pain of losing his son pushed Madsen deeper into alcoholism, leading to a series of legal scandals from drunk driving charges to domestic violence charges. His career and family gradually collapsed under the terrible weight of these losses. On July 3, 2025, Michael Madsen died at his home in Malibu, California, of a heart attack at the age of 67. Doctors confirmed that he died of heart failure, which was believed to have been caused by his long-term alcoholism. His net worth is estimated at US $4 million, amassed through over 300 film and television roles. His ashes are interred at Mount Sinai Memorial Park in the Hollywood Hills. Johnny Lewis plays Mason. When Johnny Lewis was 20 years old, he took on the role of Mason in CS1 Miami in 2004, a brief appearance that helped the young actor establish his place on American television. At the time, he was considered a promising talent, and just a few years later, his role as Kip Halfsack in Sons of Anarchy catapulted him to new heights. However, the bright light only temporarily masked a real-life tragedy that was slowly unfolding. Johnny Lewis was born on October 29, 1983 in Los Angeles, California, United States. After a high-speed motorcycle accident in 2011, he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury. Since then, his life has been plagued by mental disorders and increasingly erratic behavior. Johnny's parents tried to force him to undergo scans and treatment, but he refused. His stubbornness became an invisible sentence, pushing him further, away from the spotlight and closer to the darkness with no way out. His personal tragedy deepened when Johnny became embroiled in a long and bitter legal battle with actress Diane Gatta for custody of their daughter, Kula May. He lost the chance to be a father, and that loss only deepened his unhealed emotional wounds. Once a promising talent with a career on the rise, he became a helpless actor constantly in trouble with the law, beset by violence, addiction, and extreme isolation. On September 26, 2012, Johnny Lewis died at the age of 28 after killing his landlady, Catherine Davis, and her cat and falling from the roof. Investigations revealed no drug or alcohol use, only traces of a brain injury that had damaged his mind. His net worth is estimated at $1 million, but that's nothing compared to his unfinished talent. Lisa Sheridan Tungvai Kathleen Newberry. At the age of 28, Lisa Sheridan landed the role of Kathleen Newberry in CS1 Miami in 2002, a brief role that showcased her subtle, sharp acting. It was a step forward in her television career after making an impression on Freaky Links and Invasion. However, behind this rising career, there was a darkness no one could have foreseen, a darkness that would eventually consume her entire life. Lisa Sheridan was born on December 5, 1974 in Macon, Georgia, USA. Her life became increasingly fragile as alcohol and prescription drugs entered the picture, turning her joy into an inescapable obsession. Years of alcoholism ravaged her, physically and mentally, while benzodiazepines became a dangerous crutch she turned to in desperation. Depression gripped her, and those who loved her could only watch helplessly as she succumbed to her own battle with herself. Her isolation deepened after her split from actor Ron Livingston, to whom she was engaged from 2000 to 2003. The breakup left a huge void, and Lisa never regained her mental stability. The TV glamour that once defined her presence was now a thin shell hiding a woman increasingly consumed by alcohol, drugs, and mental breakdown at vow. Her subsequent roles carried a melancholy quality, as if Lisa were imprinting on her characters emotions she could not articulate in real life. On February 25, 2019, Lisa Sheridan passed away at her home in New Orleans at the age of 44. The cause of death was determined to be complications from chronic alcoholism combined with benzodiazepine use with no signs of suicide. She was buried at Rose Hill Cemetery in her hometown of Macon, Georgia. Her net worth is estimated at $1 million, a modest figure given the indelible mark she left behind. Adam Rodriguez Chongvai Eric Delco. At the age of 27, Adam Rodriguez joined CSI Miami in 2002 as Eric Delco, a diver and crime scene evidence expert. His character quickly became a familiar face to viewers, appearing in dramatic episodes throughout the 10 seasons. But behind the confident and strong exterior, Rodriguez's life was full of inner wounds. Adam Michael Rodriguez was born on April 2nd, 1975, in Yonkers, New York, USA. From the moment he stepped into Hollywood, he faced severe racial prejudice on his career path. Cold rejections and lost roles, all because of his Puerto Rican and Cuban heritage, repeatedly drove him to despair. Every step of his career was an uphill battle to prove that his talent was not limited by skin color or background. During those difficult years, Rodriguez found strength by picking up a pen and stepping behind the camera. He began writing and eventually directed several episodes of CSI Miami, seeing it as an escape in a prejudiced industry. Those years of struggle shaped him into a powerful storyteller, one willing to fight discrimination and forge his own path. The humiliations he endured became the driving force that propelled him to make a name for himself through talent and perseverance. Today, Adam Rodriguez is 50 years old. He continues his acting career as well as working as a director and screenwriter, expanding his artistic journey. In his own way, he lives happily with his wife, model Grace Gale, and 3 children, finding peace in his family after years of struggling with harsh prejudice. His net worth is estimated at US $10 million, a well-deserved reward for a career that has steadily risen from obscurity. David Caruso as Horatio Caine. David Caruso joined CSI Miami in 2002 as Horatio Caine, the steadfast leader of the crime scene investigation team whose icy gaze and signature sunglasses became iconic at the age of 46. Over the course of 10 seasons, he became a fixture, providing audiences with a model of integrity mixed with mystery. But off-screen, Caruso's journey was far from the glamorous, immortal image he portrayed. David Stephen Caruso was born on January 7, 1956, in Queens, New York, USA. Behind the Hollywood glitz, he was haunted by personal failures. All 3 of his marriages ended in bitterness, leaving scars that never healed. One ex-girlfriend even sued him for fraud and emotional distress, turning his name into a scandal. His personal pain seemed to go hand in hand with his career, making him both famous and tarnished by indelible stains. In the later years of his career, Caruso faced accusations of sexual harassment on set, further damaging his image. The man who once stood at the top gradually retreated into silence, choosing to stay away from the spotlight. In 2012, after CSI Miami ended, he suddenly announced his retirement, leaving behind a huge but controversial body of work. What remains is the memory of a talented actor who was always overshadowed by the dark corners of his life. Today, David Caruso, 69, lives a relatively secluded life away from Hollywood, focusing on his art business, managing personal projects, and running a fashion boutique in Miami. His net worth is estimated at US $25 million, mostly accumulated from his huge salary of over $375,000 per episode of CSI Miami. Emily Proctor as Callie Duquesne. Emily Proctor was 34 when she played Callie Duquesne in CSI Miami in 2002, a smart and courageous ballistics expert. Over the course of 10 seasons, Callie, with her gentle but determined smile, became an integral part of Proctor's identity. Making her an icon of the series, But the glamorous on-screen spotlight never reflected the hardships she endured behind the scenes. Emily Mallory Proctor was born on October 8, 1968, in Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. Her personal life was not without its silent wounds, especially the challenging journey of motherhood. At the age of 42, she gave birth to her first daughter. The joy of motherhood was accompanied by great anxiety and sacrifice, forcing her to limit her appearances on CS1 Miami. Late motherhood became a severe challenge, and she often struggled with stress and a lingering sense of helplessness. In the years that followed, Emily faced an even greater loss when her beloved Pacific Palisades home was destroyed in the 2025 wildfires. Every possession, every corner of her cherished memories was burned away, leaving a painful void for the woman who had sacrificed so much. The strong, confident Emily that fans knew on set was replaced by the real Emily standing in the ashes, forced to rebuild from the rubble. Today, Emily Proctor is 57 years old. She leads a quieter life, focusing on her nonprofit organization, Groundbreakers, while also maintaining her interior design business, a passion that runs parallel to her acting career. Her net worth is estimated at $14 million, reflecting her years in television and her continued dedication to business. Jonathan Togo as Ryan Wolf. Jonathan Togo joined CSI Miami in 2004 as Ryan Wolf, a 27-year-old rookie full of enthusiasm and perfectionism. The character quickly became a fresh highlight of the series, bringing international fame to Togo. However, the bright halo on the screen only reflected a part of his life. Behind the camera lens were emotional wounds that were difficult to heal. Jonathan Frederick Togo was born on August 25, 1977, in Rockland, Massachusetts, USA. His life initially seemed peaceful, but a failed marriage changed everything. His relationship with actress Diora Baird, which was expected to create a happy family, ended bitterly after only 3 years. The divorce left deep wounds, and Togo carried them into his conflicted personal life, where love and responsibility never really balanced. Togo later found happiness with writer Tiffany Baker, but the early years of their marriage were stressful. His career was no longer as bright as it had been during CSI Miami, while family life required sacrifices that left him constantly facing a sense of emptiness. The pains of the past haunt him, leaving Jonathan Togo tempered by experience but still with cracks in his soul. Currently, Jonathan Togo is 48 years old. He lives a quiet life, mainly focusing on small projects and spending time with his family. His net worth is estimated at $6 million, earned mainly from CS1 Miami and other television work. Rex Lynn as Frank Tripp. Rex Lynn was 46 when he joined CSI Miami in 2002 as Sergeant. Frank Tripp, a gruff but loyal character who brought balance to the investigative team. His role spanned 10 years, cementing his image with his police uniform and no-nonsense demeanor, as if Lynn was born to play Tripp. But behind this solid presence was a journey filled with hardship and loss. Rex Maynard Lynn was born on November 13, 1956, in Spearman, Texas, USA. Before entering the film industry, he worked as a banker and suffered a severe shock when the bank he worked for went bankrupt. This event not only deprived him of stability, but also forced him to start over as an adult. Those years forced Lynn to struggle between temporary jobs and supporting roles, honing both the patience and pain of a person constantly searching for a place to belong. After years of uncertainty, Lynn found love late in life when he reunited with country singer Reba McEntire in 2020. They first met in the 1990s, but only tied the knot nearly 3 decades later. Their relationship was admired by many, but it reflected a different reality. Lynn went through many years of loneliness and silence before finding warmth and happiness again. The cracks in his personal life seemed to make him appreciate love even more. In later years, Rex Lynn is now 69 years old. He continues to appear regularly on television, from CS1 to Miami to Young Sheldon, and enjoys a quiet life with Reba McEntire. His net worth is estimated at $5 million, the result of a career spanning over 3 decades.